Welcome to another AMA with Kadena Ecosystem. In this episode, we'll be speaking with the team from Arkade. This conversation was recorded on June 8th, 2023, live on Twitter Spaces. The views and expressions in this AMA do not represent the views of Kadena Ecosystem directly and are not to be considered as financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research on the projects presented. Also, make sure to follow and subscribe to our account to be alerted of new uploads. Now let's get started. Enjoy. Welcome everybody to another AMA with Kadena Ecosystem. Today we have back with us the good folks over at Arkade. We're here to kind of celebrate the successful launch of their Brawler Bears game and NFTs. So welcome back, Patrick and Norizzi. Happy to have you guys back.
Hey, likewise. Glad to be back on here. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Looking forward to catching up with you guys. The Brawler Bears have been quite a fairly decent success. I think lots of people have been playing. I know I've been seeing, like I said, I've done a few battles myself. So people seem to be enjoying it. It seems like, if you start yourself a battle, it seems like it doesn't take long for someone to jump on and try to battle you. So why don't we just start off with first just a little go over about what Arkade is all about firstly, and then what Brawler Bears are. So take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start it off, Norris, and feel free to just jump in and, fill in any gaps or add anything you'd like. But as most of you know, I know we're a smaller ecosystem. Arkade is just ultimately we're a do-it-all platform, but we really focus in on P2E gaming and just kind of like a retro feel to our website. We have a marketplace, which I'll touch on a bit more, but for now, we really want to focus on the gaming and all the things that come with that. All of our games are inspired by retro games. Superbull is a beta game that we have that we will be making huge updates to by August. And the new game that we came out with is Brawler Bears. This game is kind of like no one saw this coming. We did the Brawler Bears as kind of a fun way to poke at the bear market. And a lot of times people knew us as the Bulls since we were the Kadena Bulls technically before Arkade. But after our revamp last July, that kind of feels like a lifetime ago. And we've been all in on the gaming sector of Kadena and Web3 in general. Ultimately, what Brawler Bears is aiming to do is provide a fun Pokemon-style PvP way to kind of add some utility to your bears and then give you kind of like a new approach of collecting NFTs. So even if you didn't get the most rare bear that is out there through the airdrop or secondary market once we opened up that mint the following day, all of the weapons have different attributes that can help with different various things in battle. You can attack, you can join battles, you earn rewards, you can use Arkade to restore your bear's health, and we have level ups and timed out wins coming soon. It's a lot at a very short span of time, but ultimately we're super excited for the Brawler Bears and kind of everything that it is going to introduce us to as we shift kind of into the realm of gaming over all else on our website.
Yeah, I think Brawler Bears has been definitely a fairly large success, and at least in my eyes. People have been loving it. I've been loving my bears. Got to get my hands on a couple more weapons and things like that. But maybe we can just kind of start off with how people can get involved with playing and how a game so when someone comes in and wants to play Brawler Bears and they go to the games and they click play, what's the process that people have to go through in order to play this game?
Sure, that's a great question. So first off, to answer that directly, if you want to go to our Brawler Bears game comprehensive guide, you can check out our docs at docs.arkade.fun and check out our game guide, and it'll go through step-by-step what you can do, how the game works. So I'll kind of flow through that real quick, but you do have to own a Brawler Bear. Once again, as Patrick said, it was either airdropped to you. We airdropped the Brawler Bears to anyone who owned an Arkade NFT. But I believe like a week prior to when we did the actual airdrop, we took a snapshot of all the holders. We airdropped a bear to them, and then we opened it up to mint. And then you can also now get them on the secondary marketplace on Arkade. So you do have to have a bear. You do have to have some weapons. If you don't have a weapon, you do have a default attack with your bear. If your bear was carrying a weapon beforehand, such as something on their back or if they had like red electric eyes, for example, that was a weapon. So if they were carrying a few things, then that would have been your default weapon. If not, then your default weapon is tackle. And then you can equip up to 3 different weapons, which you can buy right now, actually, in the shop. There's a few thousand left, actually, that you can go ahead and get. We did airdrop those weapons to all the holders, and then we opened up the remaining of them for sale. So if you're not happy with your weapon, or if you want to trade it eventually on the marketplace, which we're going to open up in the near future, we're going to open up the trading on the marketplace for the weapons as well, and then you can just go in and actually just mint new ones right now too. You can equip them to your bear, and what that does is just makes your bear more powerful. So we wanted to create a more fair play type of game where it really depends on your strategy and luck. Luck in the sense of, did you mint a good bear? Did you buy a bear with a higher level, right? And then also luck in, each bear has its own type, right? So there's the land bears, which is like the brown bears and the cheetah bear, and the black bear, and then we have the ice bear and the fire bear, and the space bear. So those are the 4: land, fire, ice, and space. So the climate changes every day on the battlefield. So depending on what the climate is, and the random multiplier could be anywhere from 1 to 5x the amount of points. If your bear lands, and you could be in middle of the battle and the climate can change. So if you have a land bear and you're fighting against a space bear and you're a lower level and the climate changes to favoring land, you can actually beat that space bear, even though you could be half the amount of level that they are, or have weaker weapons even, right? So that's how luck is involved. And then strategy is involved with, like, are you choosing, the right opponent? Do you have the right weapons attached? And are you all healed up beforehand, right? So you want to make sure your bear is healed. So if you check out all in the potion shop or in the honey shop, you can buy 3 different types of honeys. And one of the honeys you can get, you can revive your bear for free once a day. And then if you want to battle more than once with your bear and it happens to die and you want to try again with another opponent, you can actually buy a honey and revive your bear. And then you can also buy replenishes too. So the replenishes are for your weapons. If your weapons, each weapon has a specific amount of power. So say you have a very powerful weapon and there's only 5 power, that means you can only use it 5 times. So once you run out of those 5 times, you're just crushing all the opponents. You're going to want to go ahead and get a replenish to replenish that power. And that's also to make it a bit more fair as well, where, you're not super overpowered, right? So it creates a little bit of a buffer for people who want to kind of pay to continue to play in that sense. So it's a bit of a mix, like I said, of strategy, of luck, of a bit of pay as well, to level up. And then this entire time too, a big thing that people were talking about is like, hey, I keep losing these battles. Like, what's kind of the point of even playing? I have a low level bear, right? The entire time, even if you're losing, if you get any attacks going, you're gaining XP. You're gaining experience points. And the experience points are in the form of the amount of damage that's given to another bear. So you gain experience points in 2 ways. Is the amount of damage given to a bear and the amount of games won. So if you continue to accumulate those, then you're going to be able to level up your bear even more. So say you're like a low, and this is the last thing I'll say because I know it's a lot of info, it's all in the guide, going to like a bear that's maybe has 300 health power, at least you hit him like with a 90. Well, that 90 is now contributing to your XP, right? And that's like a big jump. Say you're like a level 23 bear and you're trying to fight a level 72 bear, right? Well, maybe now with all that XP you just gained, you can level up like 3-4 levels, in like one game. So it's a win-win in every experience that you have in this game, and that's what we wanted to create. And there's a lot more coming. We're developing the leaderboard right now. We're developing more notifications to see if you got a bear that attacked. Also Discord notifications where when there's a new battle that's created. So we're doing still a lot more to make the experience a lot better. So, yeah, I know that was cool.
Yeah, that definitely covers a lot about the game, and definitely, like you said, if people are really interested in a breakdown of how the game works. You guys do have really good docs that explain all of the games and breaking them down on how to play them. So it's great to hear though that it's not a losing situation even if you don't win the battles. You're always going to be gaining experience points, which is also going to help you possibly win future battles. And one thing that I do like hearing about is the notification system. That was one thing I found with the battles was, since it's kind of a turn-based game, right? You do your attack and then you wait for your opponent to attack back. So having some kind of a notification system would be great. And considering that, you can link your Discord account to your arcade account in a way, that kind of seems like the best way forward, to kind of like ping you in Discord saying, hey, it's your turn. That way, you're not waiting forever for your opponent, or for your opponent waiting for you to make that next move.
100%. And that's another thing too that we wanted to kind of mention. It's like, we know that when we release the game, there's a few like quality of life features that it is missing that we are working on, as Norris was mentioning, and getting out. But some of the stuff too that like we like to kind of go into it is like, sometimes we could over engineer something that we're like, hey, we think people would care about this, but really people want to use it for a completely different thing. So just getting the game out was the first part. And now it's easy to add, not easy, but it's like much more seamless to integrate and add into versus try to release everything all at once. So we're super excited for that. And it kind of just feeds all into like that Discord OAuth thing where like your badge and stuff show up. And that's kind of like how we're going to go about it, with giving you turns and visibility and all of that stuff. So, I think this is we're under 2 weeks still of the initial launch of the game, Norris. So there's still a lot of upside and a lot of updates that we need to roll out. And there's a lot of big changes coming to Arcade 2 in the coming months, or I would say next month realistically. But Brawler Bears is kind of like the pioneer and driving force of that. And we're excited to kind of share everything with everyone with, different guides and all these other things that we have in the works.
Now, one thing about these battles, so for someone to start a battle, why don't we go through that kind of process and the things that are required when it comes to starting a battle? Because when it comes to it, you have your Brawler Bear, you pretty much like click create battle, you pick your bear, make sure before you pick your bear and go into create battle that you go into My Fighters and equip any weapons that you may have first. So why don't we kind of break down, just for people who, because people are going to be too lazy to go to the docs and read. I myself have been known to, just skip the reading and just ask the questions in a server or something like that. So why don't we just break down someone that has a bear, they have some weapons, they've never played the game before, and the kind of steps and the things that are going to be required for them to play in a battle.
Sure. Yeah, it's actually very straightforward. You kind of broke down most of it. So you do want to go ahead and go to My Fighters. You want to equip some weapons to that bear. Once you equip them, you will not be able to unequip them in the middle of a battle. You will also not be able to heal in the middle of a battle. So you want to make sure your bear's all healed up, ready to go. You replenish all your powers and your weapons, and you're ready to fight. So you want to go in, and right now it is pay. You do put down a minimum of 5,000 arcade, because there is a 1 KDA fee that we charge to be able to create a battle. We are listening to a lot of the feedback that people are giving, and we're trying to decide, still the best method for the wagering aspect of this. And some people have suggested, arcade takes like a percentage of the win, or there's also a free play mode that we're going to be launching here very shortly. The free play mode, so you can just go in and play for free. You don't have to wager anything. You don't have to pay a fee, and you get to gain experience points for just playing for fun. So that will be a feature, and I think that will be very exciting and get a lot more players involved. And then when you're ready to wager and put your money where your mouth is, then you can create a battle and put down that minimum of 5,000 arcade. So yeah, and then you enter the battle. The person who creates the battle makes the first move, which will also have the option of that being randomized as well. So as many people know, there's no randomization on the blockchain. So what we've created is an API that will hit the blockchain with our secure keys and be able to create that randomization aspect there. And from there, you have 48 hours in order to make a move. And then we're actually changing that as well. We're listening to all the feedback that people are giving. We're changing that from 48 hours to 24 hours. So you're going to have 24 hours to make a move. Otherwise, the opponent can end the game and take the earnings. So that will incentivize people to like pay attention, and we'll be releasing that with the notifications alongside that too. So then there's really no excuse for you to not be paying attention for 24 hours and make a move. So only start a battle if you're ready to like actually play and start a battle. Otherwise, people are just going to be waiting idle for too long, and it's not going to be fair. So from there, you battle, you take turns, and then whoever dies first loses, and the other person takes all the earnings, takes the winnings. And like I said, again, both people take all the experience points with it. So you still kind of win there. But yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's perfect. I do love the idea of having like a free play mode for people who just want to go in and have some fun, kind of work on their levels. Now, will the free play mode, like when you say the free play mode will still level up your bears, will it level it up slower than if you're playing in like the actual paid version of it? Because it kind of wouldn't make sense to have the free play people being able to level up as fast as the people who are actually putting their money on the line. Is that something you're considering as well?
Yes, absolutely. I thought I forgot to mention that. Yes, it will be at a much lower rate than the people who are actually, paying to play as well, because there's more incentive there and leverage there as well. So yes, it will be a much slower process, but nonetheless still available to anyone who wants to play.
Well, that's a very basic setup on any kind of almost like pay to play kind of game where, a lot of games out there, you can just buy the option to like level up things or buy your way through the game. But if you don't, you just want to play through the game, it's just, you have to grind a little bit more. So, I was glad to hear that you're thinking that way through. Now, I kind of feel like maybe you guys have taken some inspiration possibly when it comes to this from the Wizards Arena kind of play, because it is somewhat similar in the sense of its, PvP kind of things. Have you also been thinking about possibly starting any kind of like tournaments or any kind of like clan things where people can join together and kind of have multiple bears fighting other groups of multiple bears?
Sure. So it's no secret that we're very inspired by Wizards. We, shout them out all the time. Shout out Ilario and Ron, and really cool everything that they've been building and paving the way for all the games on here. It is actually very interesting. I was developing the functions for this PvP style game a bit before they had released their PvP style fighting. So we had this in the works for a bit, and we didn't want to, we wanted to offer something a little bit new, right? And not, completely just copy their tournament style games. And then they went ahead and released a really cool PvP style as well. So we've been getting a lot of requests for doing the tournaments. It's not in development right now, but, we're definitely discussing it, and it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. But, that experience that Wizards has created is really, really fun. It's really, really cool. And we don't want to take away from that, really. So we want to create something more unique and different, just like they did. They created something very unique on Kadena, and we've been inspired by it, and we want to, create something new as well.
Yep. And just to piggyback off that too, Norris, what they've been building in their community and everything is awesome. And we're a small ecosystem, so everything kind of crosses over. Everyone's everywhere, so everyone kind of knows what each other's doing. And obviously, you have projects and places that you hang out more than others, but we have a lot of talks on the back end with like Ilario and both Ron and our community manager Whoop Whoop about doing something kind of like a crossover / things to come in the coming months. It's just a weird time right now of kind of crypto, Web3, and everything else, especially. And we're kind of just trying to find like a good way to engage all of our communities in the most cost efficient way possible for the highest engagement. And really, as Nora said, we're super inspired by Wizards and we love what they do. And we're looking to kind of approach things in a in a universal manner, but also having like familiar elements that it makes kind of like anyone to jump in easily and just hop in and play and understand what you're doing and where you are on our website too.
Yeah, there's, that's the way any kind of development's been done throughout history is, there's nothing new under the sun is the kind of the saying. And there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from something that you see people are really enjoying and people are loving and kind of putting your own spin on it. And as long as people see that, it's, inspired by, but it has its own traits, it has its own qualities, which Brawler Bears definitely do. It's not exactly the same, but it does have some sharing characteristics. But they're both amazing games, and they both have so much potential to go so many different ways that you never know what's really going to happen or where it's going to go. It's definitely always open to interpretation. Now, when it comes to people getting involved with Brawler Bears, I see that the marketplace already has a few Brawler Bears available. It's still got a really low floor price of only 13 KDA to get a bear, which I feel like is kind of a steal at this point, especially with the price of KDA being so low. That people can really, it's a good chance to kind of get into this game. And then, like you said, the weapons themselves, they're only at, let me check here. I think it said 40%, only 40% of them have been minted. So there's still a ton of weapons to be able to get out there and get your hands on and start playing. And, it's a very good chance for people to, get in really early and win themselves either some arcade or some bears. And one thing that also is really cool about the bears, which we haven't discussed yet, is the whole staking aspect. So because that's just another great way that people can also utilize their bears besides just playing the game. So maybe just for people who aren't aware of that, you can just quickly cover the staking system that you guys have set up and ways people can get involved with that and what its utility is.
Sure, yeah. So real quick too, to touch on the floor price, it's an absolute steal right now for a couple reasons. I don't believe the floor price actually represents the true floor price right now, and maybe C-Rob, who's on the call, can speak on this. But C-Rob owns a lot of bears, and he posted in the general chat in Arkade. I'm sorry, one second. Sorry about that. He posted in the general chat in Arkade that he needs to pay some bills. So he's putting a lot of these Brawler Bears on sale right now. And with the price of KDA dipping at the moment too, it is just an absolute steal. So you go in there and you stake your bears and you're still earning arcade at the rate that you're able to earn it. Like it's almost a no-brainer to go in and obviously not financial advice, but no-brainer to go in, get a few bears, stake them, earn arcade, and then use that arcade to create these battles and then win more arcade. So, if you play it smart and you work out the numbers, like you're basically playing for free and getting rewards for free eventually. So, I don't know if that answers the question, but basically you can get bears, you can stake them in our cave, and you can do the same thing with bulls as well. With our 90s bulls, and we'll be opening up staking for some more collections, which we had briefly discussed in the past, but we'll slowly be rolling that here over some popular collections that you guys all love. You'll also be able to earn some arcade through that as well.
And the one cool thing about the whole staking of your Brawler Bears is that even though that you have them staked and they're earning arcade for you, you can still play with them in the battles even while they're staked, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Exactly.
Awesome. So there you go, folks. Like it's kind of a win-win, really, when you come to think about it. Especially they earn a very good decent amount of arcade as well. Like I only have the one bear currently, but every couple of days I'm in there pulling a couple hundred arcade out. So if after a couple of weeks or so I'm gonna have enough arcade to maybe get myself a weapon, and it's pretty much a free weapon by doing it that way. It's kind of a win-win situation and a system that's really set up to benefit the user, and almost kind of a quick way to even just kind of ROI your investment if you're buying these bears to begin with. And like you said, at the price of KDA right now, not financial advice or anything, but it's kind of a no-brainer to snag up some of these, especially as the game gets bigger and more people start using it. More people are gonna, like, I've seen some battles in there for up to like 50 people putting like 50,000 arcade up for a bet. Like, I couldn't imagine winning one of those battles and winning that. So like, if I do go up and put my bear up against someone for 50,000 KDA and then I win the battle, do you get the full 50,000 KDA? How does that break down? Because just in case some people are kind of curious of what happens when you win or when you lose a battle.
Right. So if you start a battle with 25,000 arcade, and the next person needs to also match you on that. So yeah, if you win, you automatically take all 50K. That's all it works. You don't even have to claim it; just automatically into your wallet, it's your koala wallet, or whatever wallet that you have attached.
That's awesome to hear. Now, just out of curiosity, when it comes to, because every time you do your move in the game, you are signing a transaction onto the blockchain. Like, this entire game is on chain, and everything is done through that way. Have you guys been utilizing gas stations at all in any way? And if not, any plans of possibly doing that in the future, just to make it even more accessible for people to play?
Yes, we do have those plans. It's not in development yet, but it is something we want to get across the entire arcade, right, for everything, including the marketplace, all games, all transactions oriented. That is something that we do plan on being missed.
You have some background noise, Norris, but I'll just regurgitate that. He basically he's saying that we don't have it currently, and it's not in development, but we have discussed it, and it's not out of the picture quite yet.
Well, yeah, it's just that is, I always tell people when they talk about KDA and reasons to get in and use KDA's chain as a platform for building their dApps and building their communities, I always feel like gas stations are the best thing about them, because, it just takes that extra cost away from the consumer and from the community member, and just shows them that, when a project sets up a gas station and pretty much takes that away, it also is kind of a nod to that project, showing that they care about their community and want to make things as easy and accessible for everyone to utilize. It's just kind of, it's a no-brainer, especially when it comes to, and even though the fees on Kadena are, we're talking percentages of a penny pretty much in some cases to do these transactions, just even though it's so low, just taking that completely out of the equation really kind of opens it up and shows people how committed and serious a project really can be when it comes to supporting their community and supporting their dApp.
100%. And that kind of like feeds into our next point of, we have like a lot of upcoming games where we're like, some of them are on-chain, some of them are off-chain, some of them are API-based, some of them are Quest-based, and some of them, it's going to be just basic Web 2 Java that interacts with the chain a bit through an API. And we ultimately want to offer a ton of variety within our website for, sometimes people like to play a PvP style game, other times people want to play like a speedrunning game, other times people want to trade. We understand that people use our websites for different reasons. So hearing you tell us that really helps us sit down and go back to the drawing board and be like, oh, okay, people want to do this, that are into that. So that's something that's kind of how we come to a lot of our conclusions, just by listening to kind of opinions like you shared and just understanding our core community and what they want. And that's pretty much how we roll out most updates. Some of the times, people don't see things coming and we prefer to work kind of in silence, but we hear you loud and clear, and we definitely will discuss it and probably get it going sooner than later.
Now, when it comes to, like you said, other games on the platform, I myself have been playing a lot of Superbull since I recently found out that, like, I have my PS4 controller plugged into my PC here, and recently figured out that I can use my controller to play these games, which I was just kind of was just like, yes, this just makes it so much easier. Like, I'm not really a huge mouse and keyboard type fan, and I've been playing Superbull on mouse or on my controller, which I've just been loving, and which I've actually been thinking about. I did used to have a Twitch channel. I still stream kind of just occasionally, usually just on weekends, just kind of randomly. I was thinking about possibly streaming some Super Bowl play. I know that you guys as well also have a Twitch channel and have been known to stream every once in a while. Any thoughts on possibly streaming some of like the progression of the games and kind of giving sneak peeks that way of what we might be seeing upcoming in these games? Because I'm sure some people would really love to see also just the development of the games, but also kind of sneak peeks of what is to come.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty funny you mention that actually, because our Twitch channel, we got hit with a strike due to like some background music that we weren't licensed for. So that was kind of annoying, and that's kind of like not deterred, but that's kind of made us slow down our Twitch streaming and make sure we get everything removed, because we really want to be a gaming centric company. And Twitch is a huge outlet for that. So we're trying to make sure that our record's clear on that and make sure everything's good before we get back into that realm of streaming weekly and sometimes daily. But yeah, no, for sure. It's a great idea. I actually set up a YouTube channel for Arkade for like streaming on there in the meantime. But honestly, Super Bowl is going to get a really big revamp this summer, and we're really excited for it because it was initially our flagship game, but we ran into some development hurdles and differences in teams, and there's a lot of internal stuff that we kind of, a lot of people don't tend to hear about, but we ran into some hiccups and we weren't really happy with how the game came out. So while we were dealing kind of with the API stuff and all the more robust stuff of Super Bowl, the mechanics that we kind of wanted done, and we're working with our developer at the time who was contract based, our visions weren't aligned. So we had to go back to the drawing board and kind of figure out, do we want to start from scratch or do we want to build upon the shell that we already have? And I'm currently doing a bit of both. Like there's a few games that I have a lot of inspiration from. One game that I'm playing a lot is Mario 64 on my Switch. And I'm almost at 120 stars, and I'm going to get Yoshi again soon. But it's been really fun to kind of play that game and see, like, in 1996, how the Nintendo team went to the drawing board. And, like, there's so much depth to that game that you don't even realize. Like, jumping into walls and mechanics, like, you needing to take advantage of, like, partial movements in order to, like, do a glitch to reach the top of the castle. Like, there's just a lot of small stuff in there that's like, I think was ahead of its time, but also very well thought out. And we want to take that same approach with Super Bowl, because we understand that like some people want to be casual and they don't really care about it. Other people want full-blown utility for their NFTs, and other people want a game that is getting constant updates and a constant stream of like rewards, so and quests. So like these are all the things that we kind of have. So to answer your question in kind of a long answer, yes, we do have some ideas of streaming kind of some updates coming on that. And I've been full-blown kind of dealing with the production and development of Super Bowl. So I will definitely take that into consideration and give some sneak peeks of that once we get a stream going and we're all clear from all of our marks.
Yeah, that's kind of a bit of a pain when it comes to Twitch and streaming, is the whole DCMA stuff, and making sure that, even if it's in the background, just kind of faintly, if their bots and whatever pick up on any of that, you get hit with a strike. Luckily, it's the same kind of system that YouTube have of, you get multiple strikes and they also disappear after a certain amount of time. So that's one thing to look forward to. And it shouldn't really stop you. There is free music that you can have. There's lots of like 8-bit kind of video game style free royalty-free music that you can play. I think Streambeats is one of the platforms that offers kind of free music that's completely safe to play on streams. I know one of the guys that I watch, that's what he uses for it, and it has a lot of really cool 8-bit music and things like that that you can play in the background. And also you can stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time with things like Restream and things like that, so that you can cover both of your follower bases and kind of get out there on even more platforms at once. So there's lots of definitely, since you are gamer centric, Twitch is definitely a huge kind of thing. And even look into maybe Kick. Kick is a new streaming platform that you can some people are starting to utilize and is starting to pick up a little bit more steam. But I know I've caught a few of your streams before, and it's just kind of a nice way and another way for people to interact with the team and get to learn a little bit more about the team, speak directly with some people, and also speak with other people who are like-minded gamers and also really enjoy playing these games. And like you were saying too about the whole Mario and collecting stars thing, that's one thing I actually really love too about the Super Bears game is the going through. At first I was like, oh, I gotta beat the set time, like I want to try to get it underneath the times of what the target times are for going through the level. But then I'm like, well, wait, I want to collect all these stars too, and some of them are actually really well hidden. So it definitely has lots of different aspects and lots of places that you can go with that game. And I'm looking forward to see what the next iteration of it's going to be, because I've been loving playing it. It's in the last week or two, I'm about halfway through the different levels now. I'm almost up to the big boss. So looking forward to the Cube Monkey big boss, the first one there. Looking forward to try to get to there and play with that. So very cool, very awesome. Also, another game that you guys have been working on, which is very cool, is Arkade Brawlers. We spoke a little bit about it last time, but maybe for people who aren't aware of what that's going to entail, maybe we can just quickly go over that.
Of course. Arkade Brawlers at the moment it's not fully in development yet. It's on the timeline and it's on the roadmap, but we haven't began full-blown development of it quite yet. Brawler Bears took priority of that, then Superbull, and then Brawler Bears will kind of come after. But Brawler Bears essentially is all the projects that have gone through our launch pad, or partners of us, or just friends of us in the ecosystem that we have a close relationship with. You're able to essentially use that NFT within kind of like a Street Fighter, inspired by Street Fighter style game, that you're able to like go in, kind of have a bunch of different moves, bunch of different attacks. And unlike Brawler Bears where it's turn-based, this one's actually like an action style, like hitter game. I don't know quite yet about the PvP mechanics of it. I'm not sure if it will just be kind of like CPU play and we'll go from that. It's kind of too early to get into all of that. But Arkade Brawlers is a game that I'm very excited for, and truthfully that I wanted to get out first. But realistically, Brawler Bears made a lot more sense when we sat down and talked about it all, and we wanted something that interacted directly with the chain versus like a Web 2 based initially. And I felt like it was a big step kind of in the ecosystem, but also for us to be directly interacting where we didn't have to oversee every transaction and everything. So Brawler Bears got priority and came first. We're going to add and kind of like make sure that's in a stable place and build upon the fundamentals that we currently have. And then Arkade Brawlers will probably be, I need to kind of go over our roadmap again, but Arkade Brawlers will probably be shortly after Superbull and Unity as well.
Awesome. Well, if that game's anywhere near as good as Superbull is and Brawler Bears have turned out to be, I'm sure it's going to be another great hit on the Arcade Fun website. And also, let's maybe go over to something we talked about earlier, and that is that the big revamp to the website, because I've loved the website. I remember what it was originally when it first came out, because it's already gone through a major revamp from what it kind of started off as. But maybe if you want to just give a quick little breakdown again for people who may have missed it the last time we talked about what this website rebrand, I guess 2.0 now, will be, what it's going to entail.
It won't be that different. Like all the same content and such will still be on the site. There might be more drop down menus at the top navigation bar. We know we need a homepage. Me and Norris talk about it all the time. We're gonna do a homepage, and we also need a team page that we need to include on our website. So these are the things that like we need, because our website currently you just drop right into content, whereas like we kind of want to give people a buffer, and like even newcomers like an experience on giving you an option what to do and learn about us. So first things first, we have a homepage coming. I know that's long overdue, and apologies, but most people that were kind of in the ecosystem, we didn't have a lot of new faces in there, so we just didn't take the time to do that, which we apologize for. But we'll have a homepage coming. We'll have a drop-down menu at the top, and we will be I don't know, Norris. What are your thoughts on alpha? I need your opinion here. I don't want to get ahead of myself and and give too much and have you yell at me later.
Do it.
Okay. Yeah, so it's funny. I know I sent you guys over something in our private chat, Chris, just kind of about a PDF I sent yesterday to the guys. And we're kind of going we're staying in the same lane that we're in, but we also need to be kind of in a universal chain agnostic area of we need to give people gaming content, not just things that they're able to buy and purchase. We want people to be able to interact and engage in our platform without the need to spend money. We want people to be able to be kind of a part of Arkade without needing to necessarily be a holder or be anything. We know people have life. We know times are really rough globally. And we appreciate every single one of our investors and partners that we have. So kind of the next step of Arkade is keeping everything that we have, but we want to add more embedded options into our website, meaning we want you to be able to find other games in our ecosystem that might not be hosted on Arkade. Shout out to SGK. I've seen you guys in here. Partners of us, great guys. Check them out. But we want people to be able to essentially be able to visit our website, see what's going on in the gaming universe of Kadena and beyond. And we want people to be able to essentially play games on our website, native and house games, but also be able to go out to other partner websites and things like that, where you can learn about other projects, you can learn about other games, you can follow guides, you can follow a newsletter, and most importantly, you can kind of just be a part of a gaming community that allows you to create a profile or connect your wallet as a user and earn Web3 rewards and other things. So we really want to be not just a gaming Web3 marketplace company. We want to have all these avenues and all these outlets, but we want them embedded into a website that also allows you to be just a casual investor or a casual just spectator. And that's kind of the realm that we want to be in, where no matter what you do on our website, we want you to kind of have a place. If you want to invest, stake, and earn money, please do. If you want to read guides, please do. Or if you just want to see what's going on and read a newsletter and stay kind of ahead of the curve and determine your next move, we want you to be able to do that too with no money spent to you. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say names because nothing's set in stone quite yet and things could change, and I don't want to get us in too deep to something that we might not fully have the bandwidth or timeline for right now. But we want Arkade to not only be a gaming company, we want Arkade to cross over into the atmosphere of kind of media and also products beyond that. But we want to be a proper gaming company that offers a Web3 feel with a Web2 experience.
Well, it's great to hear that you guys are also keeping in mind, the other gaming projects that are in the ecosystem. We mentioned Wizards earlier. We mentioned, you just mentioned Secret Garden, because, this is very much what the Kadena community is about. It's very much about helping each other out, and there's no need for, our project is better than yours and we're going to win. There is no real winning when it comes to a community. Everyone can help each other. Everyone can benefit from each other, learn from each other, and also promote each other. It doesn't have to be, us versus them or whatever like that. And no one's going to really benefit from singling themselves out of the community as opposed to just being part of the community. So that's very good to hear that you guys are keeping that in mind and, branching out and reaching out to other projects, getting involved with other ones. We loved always talking with you in our chats and having you in our server as well. It's always great to just be able to run ideas past each other and help each other kind of grow and make everything better, not just for ourselves, but for the Kadena ecosystem as a whole. So very kudos to you guys for keeping along those lines. Now, I don't know how much more, if you guys have any other alpha or other things that you feel like we may not have covered, but yeah, anything else you guys want to maybe drop on the community?
Nothing really that I can think of off the top, but I'll kind of add to what you just said and kind of what I was saying earlier is that I think that we're in a very interesting time of Web3. I think a lot of us came into Web3 years ago in a whole different time of it all, where I came across a Twitter thread the other day where somebody was posting how they turned down a $10 million offer for an NFT because the person they wanted 10 million, but the person offered 2 million. And he was like, sorry, I'm holding out for 10. And it's just crazy to look back at kind of the history and timeline of Web3 and how much people were making off of NFTs at the top of it all. And being a founder of a startup, we kind of have to look at things where it's like, that's not the norm, right? Like, it's not normal that you're making that much revenue or able to raise that much capital in such a short timeline with a wireframe and an Envato market products. Like, I think that kind of era the ship has sailed. And I think that we're kind of in a time now of Web3 where people are checked in, but also checked out. People are kind of in a weird spot mentally about everything. And we want to be able to just kind of like offer a refreshing take where it's like, hey, we're more than just a Web3 company. We want you to be able to know that, like, we understand kind of market conditions. We understand where people are coming from. We understand kind of the psychology of it all. And that's kind of what goes into all of our decision making and all the things that we do. So we hear everything that everyone says, and we are well aware. I always say this on our calls too, that we're well aware of all the small hiccups that do come up on our website and so forth. And we do apologize, and we are due diligent working on that. But as far as it goes, just in the Kadena Eco as a whole, we're very grateful for the friends and partners that we have in here, and investors too. I like to say friends because, like, even though someone might be part of the Arkade and like look at us as like a founder or whatever it is, like, there's a lot of guys that like they have my personal cell phone number, and I'm like, yo, hit me up if you need anything, or if you message us in Discord and you can't get a hold of me, like, call me or text me or whatever. I'll get back to you when I can. So I like to kind of, like, the family term is kind of played out, but I like to view like Web3 and kind of like our little pocket of it as like kind of like a big family, because like you said, like, there's no need for competition in such a small ecosystem, but there's really no need for competition everywhere. Like, I just think that we all can bring out the best in each other, and kind of like a way to go about that is healthy competition and promoting people, not burning them down. And like, for example, like, not to toot our own horn or nothing like that, but whenever like we see like another marketplace or another, like Isoko, for example, and CAD cars, like when we saw their chain agnostic min, I reached out to them. I was like, yo, this is sick. We're huge fans. If you guys want like to partner on something coming up with like your mint for CAD cards, whatever, please let us know. Again, huge fans, hit me up. And like, that's kind of how we went about all of our partnerships and really everything in the ecosystem, because there's just so many smart people and talented here, and we all need to kind of like hold each other up versus tear each other down. And that's kind of where we're at. That's our mindset. We're super excited. And I always go on these little inspirational rants at the end of these calls, but I just don't really have that much alpha to share other than what I gave. And we're super excited to build what's to come. And, July, I think, is going to be a pretty big month for Arkade. So I'm glad you're all here and very excited for it.
Well, I'll drop a little bit of alpha, I guess you could kind of say, and that is that tomorrow we're going to be starting a giveaway from the Koala Wallet people. They've teamed up with Arkade to give away a couple of Brawler Bears, fully equipped with 3 weapons, and as well as some KDA prizes up. So I got the Koala Wallet account in the space. So make sure you guys, if you haven't already, follow the Koala Wallet account. Maybe turn on the notifications for when they tweet. Tomorrow, probably around 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you'll be seeing a tweet go out about this giveaway, which you'll be able to enter and hopefully win yourselves some Brawler Bears, or even some KDA to maybe buy yourself some Brawler Bears and get into the gaming action. So make sure you guys look out for that. It's going to be coming out tomorrow sometime in the mid-afternoon. So like I said, make sure to follow the Koala Wallet account, follow Arkade, and be on the lookout for that. But I want to thank both Patrick and Norris for coming back and speaking with us. It's always great to talk with the Arkade team and learn more about what they're working on and the amazing platform that they've built. So I want to thank both of you guys for coming and speaking with us today, and looking forward to a bright future ahead for all of us. It should be really awesome, and looking forward to where Brawler Bears go, where Superbulls go, and everything that you guys have in store.
Thanks again, Chris. And likewise, it's always a pleasure. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you. I know it was a small turnout today, but like I said, anyone that has questions, hop in our Discord, ping me at Snow or Patrick, and have a great rest of your day. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in again. Take care.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for following. Make sure you guys give Arkade a follow, join their Discord, get involved, snag yourself some Brawler Bears, and get into the battles. And we will definitely be back with another AMA very soon. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming out and listening today, and have a great day. Take care. That wraps up another amazing AMA. Thank you for listening. Here at KPN, we strive to bring an open platform for projects being built on Kadena to present themselves to the community. Please ensure to do your own research on each project before investing. Also ensure to follow us on all our social media, from Twitter to subscribing to our weekly newsletter, to ensure to keep up to date on everything KDA related. You can find all the links in the description below. Take care.